Opening MLK Drive to cars next month gives me a lot of anxiety and brings up some frustration in the decision making.
It's one of the, I guess, few safe places for people who aren't inside cars in the city.
But for some people who need this drive for a commute, it's been really challenging.
This is what MLK Drive has looked like for the past 16 months. After it was closed to auto traffic by the city in March of 2020, walkers, roller skaters, and cyclists from all over Philadelphia came to enjoy the 4-mile stretch of car-free road. Bike advocates and outdoor enthusiasts alike have asked to keep MLK closed to cars, but the city decided to reopen it on August 4th, 2021. Randy Labasso is policy director at the Bicycle Coalition of Greater Philadelphia. He explains the drive's popularity.
I think MLK was really unique in that it was basically a wide trail that was open near Center City, and because of that, it became the most used bike trail in the entire Commonwealth of Pennsylvania over the last year.
Mike Carroll is Deputy Director at the Office of Transportation, Infrastructure, and Sustainability, known as OTIS. He says funding is a key factor that went into the city's decision to reopen the drive to cars.
Or we'll be, seeking reimbursement from federal funds for the paving we did. And the reason we get that reimbursement is because Martin Luther King's on the federal aid network, which means that there's a certain threshold that's established for it to bear traffic and operate as a route for traffic traveling in and out of the city.
While recreational users have enjoyed the roadway, local residents in neighborhoods like Winfield and Overbrook felt left out of discussions. Crystal Morris, president of the Winfield Residents Association, shares her neighborhood sentiment.
Imagine looking out your window of a home that you've lived in for maybe 20 years, and you look out and they've decided to make it something else, your street, and nobody asked you, and somebody in a room thought it was a good idea, and what they're telling you is you just need to live with it. And that happens way too often in the city.
MLK is also a vital route for Winfield residents who drive into the city, they say.
We assume people drive because they're lazy and they don't want to take the bus. What about the fact that I'm working 2 jobs and the only way that I can get from one to the other is if I'm driving, because if I'm waiting for the bus that doesn't come, I'm going to lose my job.
The Bicycle Coalition made an effort to compromise.
We actually are not advocating for it being permanently closed to cars. We decided that the best option was actually going to be a split road, which was two travel lanes for vehicles, 2 travel lanes for bicycles, and then you have the side path for everyone else.
However, OTIS did not use the Bike Coalition's proposed plan.
We've incorporated line striping along the pavement. That adds shoulders with buffers on the shoulders on each side of a single lane which travels in each direction. It was always intended for people who kind of want to enjoy the water's edge there, and so not so much for commuters necessarily, and not so much as a raceway.
MLK Drive is part of Philadelphia's high injury network, which shows the 12% of city streets where 80% of traffic injuries and deaths occur. The new redesign of the street is supposed to prevent cars from passing each other, slowing down the drive and hopefully making it safer for cyclists. Mike Carroll explained that the new shoulders can be used by cyclists who feel comfortable riding alongside traffic, which led to backlash from cyclists who questioned the safety of the new layout.
I don't think it's safe to bike on a road this curvy next to cars.
Creating spaces in the city for cyclists and pedestrians also has environmental benefits, according to Nick Zawala-Rogers of the Clean Air Council.
To really avoid the congestion when we return to work, we have to make spaces for people to bike and walk. Otherwise, we're just going to have tons of people driving and the air quality problems are going to be so bad. Why didn't we have a dialogue around bus lanes? What would it look like to divert buses onto Westerport Drive? So I think that there's a lot of opportunities for air quality benefits that we're losing out on.
Though this may seem like a clash between cyclists and local neighbors, Crystal Morris says that's not the case.
What I've challenged our residents to do is don't throw Bicycle Coalition under the bus. They're not the enemy here. The point is, Randy asked for the same thing that we asked for. Why is this not a conversation?
There is a very strong emphasis in Philadelphia on community outreach, talking to the community before you do anything, and we really tried to make that happen.
Both groups are frustrated that the city didn't reach out to communities before putting their reopening plan into action.
We need to be involved in conversations. We need to be approached ahead of time instead of decisions being made in a vacuum.